Welcome to Simply Explain All, where today we dissect the massive transformation of electronic arts from hero to industry villain. Once upon a time, this gaming giant was the alpha leader, respected by everyone for pushing boundaries and creating art. In the early 2000s, electronic arts was the undisputed king, delivering quality experiences that defined a generation of gamers. They gave us unforgettable journeys through the stars in Mass Effect and magical realms in Dragon Age that we loved. They redefined survival horror with Dead Space, proving they were willing to take risks on new and terrifying creative ideas. Their sports division was untouchable, bringing the excitement of real-world stadiums directly into our living rooms with unmatched realism. During this golden age, the focus was clearly on the players and the passion of the developers creating these worlds. However, as the company grew larger, the influx of massive profits began to slowly change the internal culture and priorities. The creative visionaries were gradually replaced by business executives who viewed video games solely as products to maximize shareholder value. This marked the beginning of the Dark Ages, where the primary goal shifted from making great games to making money. They began implementing systems designed to extract every possible cent from loyal players who just wanted to enjoy their hobbies. Microtransactions became the new standard, locking cool costumes and essential game content behind additional paywalls that frustrated the community. They introduced loot boxes, a mechanic that many experts and governments eventually compared to unregulated gambling for underage children. Instead of releasing complete experiences, they started carving out parts of the main game to sell back as downloadable content. The relationship between the publisher and the players began to sour rapidly as the community felt exploited and disrespected daily. The absolute breaking point for everyone came with the launch of Star Wars Battlefront 2, a disaster of epic proportions. Players discovered that iconic heroes like Darth Vader were locked behind thousands of hours of grinding or expensive real money payments. The company's response on Reddit became the most downvoted comment in history, proving how out of touch they truly were. They famously claimed the paywall was to provide players with a sense of pride and accomplishment, which nobody believed. This controversy was so massive that it forced governments around the world to step in and investigate predatory gaming mechanics. Instead of apologizing sincerely, the leadership blamed the players for not understanding their complex vision for the future of gaming. Their reputation hit rock bottom, winning the dishonorable title of the worst company in America multiple times in a row. With their public image destroyed and sales under threat, the company found itself in a vulnerable position financially and strategically. The board of directors knew they needed a major change or a massive injection of capital to survive the storm. Unexpectedly, the solution to their problems came from the Middle East, specifically from the Public Investment Fund of Saudi Arabia. In a shocking turn of events, the fund acquired the company for a staggering $55 billion in total valuation. This massive purchase price raised eyebrows everywhere, as it was one of the largest acquisitions in the history of entertainment. The massive injection of capital was exactly what the struggling executives wanted to secure their bonuses and golden parachutes. But this acquisition was about much more than just video games. It was a strategic move by a powerful nation. Analysts quickly pointed out that this was a classic case of reputation laundering on a massive global scale. Saudi Arabia is using soft power to change how the world perceives them, moving away from oil and controversial politics. For decades, Western media and video games have often depicted the Middle East solely as a backdrop for modern warfare. By owning the developers, they can influence future narratives to show their region as a hub of innovation and progress. They understand that the younger generation cares more about entertainment than geopolitics, making games the perfect vehicle for influence. EA is just one piece of a larger puzzle, as the fund has also invested heavily in other gaming giants. However, this strategy has drawn sharp criticism from human rights organizations who worry about the normalization of the regime. There are legitimate fears that creative freedom will be stifled to align with the conservative values of the new owners. Will we see a reduction in diverse characters or storylines that might be considered offensive to the new parent company? Employees within the company are reportedly anxious about what this cultural clash means for their daily work and projects. The future of Electronic Arts is now more uncertain than ever, shrouded in a fog of geopolitical ambition and money. We are witnessing a historic battle between the pursuit of endless profit and the preservation of artistic integrity in gaming. As gamers, we must decide if we will continue to support a company that has strayed so far from its roots. From the creators of our childhood favorites to a corporate entity owned by a foreign government, the journey is tragic. It serves as a stark reminder that in the corporate world, nothing is sacred, and everything has a price tag. Whether EA can ever redeem its soul, or if it will become a propaganda tool, remains to be seen. History teaches us that empires that lose touch with their people eventually crumble, and EA is testing that theory today. The alpha leader is no longer free to roam the jungle. It is now a performative pet in a golden cage. Every time we pre-order a game or buy a loot box, we are voting for this future with our wallets. Perhaps the true spirit of gaming has already left these giant corporations and moved to the passionate indie developers. While EA chases billions, smaller studios are the ones currently delivering the innovation and heart that we all crave. But for the executives in their high towers, the only art that matters is the art of the deal. They have mastered the psychology of addiction, turning players into payers and games into glorified digital slot machines. The human cost of these predatory mechanics is often ignored, affecting families and vulnerable individuals all around the globe. Regulation is coming, slowly but surely, as lawmakers finally catch up to the deceptive practices of the industry giants. EA attempts to distract us with charity campaigns and PR stunts, but the community has a very long memory. The scars from the Battlefront disaster have not healed, and trust is a currency that is impossible to buy back. Even their partnership with FIFA collapsed, leading to a rebranding that symbolizes their arrogance in thinking they own the sport. They believed their brand was bigger than the sport itself, a gamble that shows the extent of their corporate ego. Their focus is shifting heavily towards mobile gaming, where microtransactions are accepted and whales spend thousands without a second thought. The traditional console experience is being deprioritized in favor of the quick, easy, and highly profitable mobile gaming market. We mourn the studios that EA bought and destroyed: Westwood, Maxis, Visceral, a graveyard of talent sacrificed for efficiency. These studios once created genres, but under EA's management, they were stripped of their identity and eventually shut down. The games-as-a-service model keeps players trapped in an endless loop of grinding, paying, and waiting for updates. Gaming has turned into a second job for many, with daily quests and battle passes demanding our constant attention and time. Now, with the rise of AI, EA is looking to cut costs even further by automating aspects of development. This pursuit of efficiency threatens to remove the human touch entirely, leaving us with content that feels generated, not crafted. Leadership speaks excitedly about algorithms and engagement metrics, but rarely about fun, joy, or artistic expression in their titles. Ironically, it is often the community modders who fix the broken games, doing the work that the billion-dollar company refuses to do. To own the complete experience of a game like The Sims 4 costs nearly $1,000, a staggering amount. This aggressive monetization of casual gamers shows that no demographic is safe from their predatory pricing strategies. The recent Dead Space remake was a rare glimmer of hope. proving they can still produce quality when they try. But typically, that team was immediately reassigned to help save the struggling Battlefield franchise, killing hope for a sequel. It is a tragic cycle where talent is rewarded with punishment, forced to work on money-making machines instead of passion projects. Apex Legends remains a success, but even there, the pricing for cosmetic items has reached absolutely absurd and insulting levels. They push the boundaries of what players will accept, retreat slightly when caught, and then push again later. It is a calculated strategy of 2 steps forward, 1 step back, slowly normalizing higher prices and worse practices. With the Saudi Public Investment Fund now holding the reins, the long-term strategy extends far beyond quarterly financial reports. We are likely to see a massive push for esports tournaments hosted in the region, legitimizing their position in the industry. Professional players will face moral dilemmas about participating in events funded by a regime with a controversial human rights record. Many influencers and streamers may remain silent on these issues to protect their sponsorships and access to early game copies. The independence of gaming media is also at risk, as access to the biggest publisher becomes a tool for control. It feels like we are powerless cogs in a machine, watching the hobby we love being dismantled and sold for parts. However, recent successes of player-friendly games prove that the market still rewards quality and respect above all else. The massive success of genuine, complete games sends a clear message that gamers are tired of being treated like wallets. The question remains, is Electronic Arts capable of learning from these trends? Or are they too big to pivot? They may be steering a Titanic-sized ship towards an iceberg, unable to turn quickly enough to avoid a disaster. The original talent has largely fled, starting new studios where they can create without the interference of corporate overlords. Our hope lies with these new beginnings, where the spirit of the old EA lives on, free from the corruption. From the highest peaks of innovation to the lowest valleys of corporate greed, the story of EA is a warning. It serves as a cautionary tale for the entire industry about what happens when you prioritize profit over your people. Ultimately, the power is in our hands. We can choose to walk away and support developers who respect us. Vote with your wallet, support indie games, and do not settle for mediocrity packaged as a AAA experience. The next chapter of Electronic Arts will be defined by whether they embrace their humanity or become a soulless machine. The influence of Saudi Arabia will only grow, subtly shaping the worlds we play in ways we might not notice. As consumers, we must stay vigilant, critical, and aware of who owns the platforms where we spend our time. Video games are the most powerful cultural medium of our time, and we cannot let them be hijacked by greed. Let us cherish the memories of what EA used to be, while demanding better for what gaming should become tomorrow. What do you think about the Saudi acquisition and the current state of EA? Let us know in the comments. If you enjoyed this deep dive, please hit that like button and subscribe to help us decode more complex topics. Check out our other videos where we analyze the downfall of other industry giants and the rise of indie heroes. Remember that $55 billion can buy a company, but it cannot buy the soul, passion, or love of fans. We can only hope that one day, the creativity that built this industry will break free from its corporate chains. Thank you for watching and sticking with us through this long analysis of one of gaming's biggest and saddest stories. This story is ongoing, and we will be here to cover every twist and turn as the industry continues to evolve. This has been Simply Explain All. Stay curious, stay critical, and keep playing the games that truly deserve your time.